Welcome back to another edition of the 2020 Toronto Blue Jays Sim with Out of the Park Baseball 21. I'm JayBlue of Blue Jays From Away, and you can find me on Twitter at Jays From Away. Thanks again to GM Games for hosting us on their YouTube site, and you can subscribe, like, do all of those fun things with this video and keep coming back for this series. We're heading into the home stretch. We're in the dog days of August. It's August 17th, and we do have some, potentially good things happening. We just got Lourdes Gurriel back into our lineup after his injury. We're coming off a win against the Chicago Cubs with Nate Pearson coming out on top. Nate Pearson's been a strikeout machine of late, although it hasn't always translated into wins, although he is 6-4 so far in his rookie season. We are in second place, tied with the New York Yankees. We're also tied for the second wild card spot, and we're at 67 and 59 as we enter the third week of August. And we're going to begin with Chase Anderson taking on Dakota Hudson. And here we go. We're facing the St. Louis Cardinals at home, so I'm not going to worry about adjusting the lineup for the DH. And Matt Shoemaker has a diagnosis. He was injured in his last outing, and he's got a partially torn labrum, so he's going to be gone for 6 weeks. We did not play a game. Our next game is actually today. That was simming. We had a day off, so Shoemaker is going to be gone for 6 weeks, so we're putting him on the injured list. And we have 5 days to wait before Hyunjin Ryu is back, but unfortunately, he is not going to be ready. He's been out for a couple months, so we're going to put him in a rehab assignment in the minors. So right now the question is going to be, do we bring up Sean Reed-Foley? Do we bring up Jacob Wagaspak? Do we bring up Shun Yamaguchi? Those are the three main guys that I want to bring up. And I think I'm going to go with Sean Reed-Foley. Reed-Foley has been actually pretty good in Buffalo, and we're just going to rejig the lineups. And Shun Yamaguchi becomes the ace of the Buffalo Bison staff. And into the starting role, I mean, I'm really kind of torn, but I think I kind of have to put Tanner Roark back in the starting role. He went into the bullpen for a little bit. And we're going to make him an emergency starter. He went into the bullpen for a little bit because he was just so bad. He's got a 6.45 ERA. I think this is turning out to be a bad contract in this simulation. I've been sort of putting together a list. It's not in writing. It's a mental list of things that we need to do come off season. So one of those things is probably going to be shopping around Tanner Roark, although I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to get for him. Maybe if he pitches well, but I wouldn't mind getting that $12 million contract off the books next season, particularly if someone like JD Martinez decides he wants to not exercise his opt-out. So here we go. Chase Anderson versus Jack Flirty against the St. Louis Cardinals. And we lost 9-1. We had Chase Anderson. Was he chased? I think Chase was chased very early, 3 2/3 innings. Ryan Baracki, 2 2/3 with 1 run. Wilmer Font, 2 2/3 with 1 run. Randall Grichuk was injured, and it's a diagnosis pending. Unfortunately, that doesn't always work out well. I don't know if we can sustain another serious injury to an outfielder. We lost Lourdes Gurriel for a while. Not entirely sure why he's pinch hitting. I'm going to just double check my lineups before we move on. JD Martinez with 2 hits, doubles for Panic, and Santiago Espinal, who was coming in at center field for Randall Grichuk. Can he play center field? I guess he can. He's had a 30 in center field, so he's our emergency center fielder. Billy Mckinney with 3 hits. He continues to be red hot. Mckinney and Derek Fisher have both been really nice surprises this year. Mckinney, since he's been up and down, but these numbers in Buffalo, 11 home runs in 51 games, pretty outstanding. And his numbers in Toronto are quite good too. So we were going to check on the lineups now just to make sure that Lourdes Gurriel is in the lineup regularly. So against the DH, against righties, he's there every fifth, starting with Billy Mckinney every fifth game, and then Mckinney is playing every 15th game against lefties. We'll adjust this now, just in case we have some interleague games here. So we're going to put Gurriel back here in left field. Where did he go? He went to first base. That is extremely weird. Now, this is against left-handed pitchers, and Martinez has horrible defense, so I'm not even going to bother putting him in there anywhere. So I'm going to put here J.D. Martinez, Lourdes Gurriel, and then at first base, we're going to keep going with Travis Shaw, who is a left-handed hitter. And then against righties, we're going to bring in Gurriel. I don't mind losing J.D. Martinez's bat. He really hasn't done a ton with the Blue Jays since coming here. Now, I do want to make sure that we have Billy Mckinney here. He's red hot, if you can see the fire icon. I'm probably going to have him play every second game just to make sure we're getting him in the lineup. Billy McKinney is going to play probably for Fisher. Fisher has slackened since he was... and, I'd almost rather have McKinney than Fisher against lefties because they're both left-handed hitters. But Fisher he started off red hot, and he's kind of slackened a little bit. So I'm going to just make sure McKinney's my backup outfielder. And with Grichuk injured, McKinney can play... No, he can't play center field. That's a lie. Derek Fisher can play center field. So that may be what's going to happen in the event of Grichuk's injury. So what I'm going to kind of do is make Fisher my backup center fielder, and I'm going to make McKinney my everyday right fielder. Mainly just for now, because what that's going to do is that's going to automatically push Fisher into it's going to keep him in the lineup, and it's going to push him into that center field role as Randall Grichuk is out. So here we go. We are going to simulate the next game. We've got Tanner Roark back in the rotation thanks to the injury that's probably going to cost Matt Shoemaker the rest of the season. So here is the next game. And we have a win, a 4-3 win for the Jays against the Cardinals. And on the mound was Roark, and he was okay. He wasn't great. Those 2 home runs, again, he's just giving up a ton of home runs here. But really solid work by the bullpen here. Just 2 hits allowed. And Wade Davis, 3 strikeouts in an inning and a third, and Giles struck out the side in the 9th for the save. And Billy McKinney, red hot, 2 hits here. J.D. Martinez, 1 for 1, but he came out of the game with an injury, and he's got a day-to-day injury there. Home run for Derek Fisher, home run for Lourdes Gurriel. So yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure that he was going to be in the lineup. So Fisher, Gurriel, both those guys are producing for the Jays. So the next game has the pitching matchup of Anthony Kay, who's been excellent, against the New York Yankees facing Jonathan Loaisiga. We'll have to get a ruling on the pronunciation. And the Blue Jays really took it on the chin here, more on the chin than anywhere else. Or there could be somewhere else that I could mention about where the Jays took that one. 18-3 loss to the Yankees. 3 hits for Joe Panik, a home run for Bo Bichette, doubles for Panik, Bichette, and Fisher. Guerrero had a hit and a walk. But Anthony Kay, just not a good game. 3 home runs, 6, Aaron Judge hit a pair. Luke Voigt, Gleyber Torres hit 2. Miguel Andujar hit 1. Giancarlo hit Stanton hit, sorry, it was Stanton who hit 2 home runs, not Judge. And Aaron Hicks. So just tons of home runs here, 7 home runs for the Yankees. Baraki giving up 5 runs in no innings, not getting anybody out. 5 hits and a walk. Sean Reed Foley giving up a whole bunch of runs. Jordan Romano a couple of runs. I mean, it was just an ugly game. So the Shoemaker injury diagnosis we've seen. The J.D. Martinez day-to-day for 2 to 3 days. just checking out some of the mail. Randall Grichuk is still, the diagnosis is pending. That's not a good sign. Now we face Garrett Cole, who is really good, and we do not seem to be. So the Yankees have picked up a half a game on us. And now they've picked up a game and a half with another win. We have slid back to the 5th spot in the wild card spot, which means we're actually 2 games back of the Minnesota Twins and Cleveland Indians for that 2nd spot. This game was pretty ugly. 7-3, not as bad as that 18-3 game. On the mound, Trent Thornton, 6 runs in 4 1/3 innings, 3 home runs. I mean, this pitching staff is just giving up home run after home run. And as I mentioned way back in the draft, I'm looking for guys with higher movement ratings, and Trent Thornton's movement is 35, and that's pretty low. We're looking for guys who have at least 50 ratings in movement, because that helps keep the ball down. It helps prevent home runs. So as this sim goes on, I'm probably going to try to remake the pitching staff with guys less like Thornton and Shoemaker and Rourke, who don't have a lot of movement, and going with guys who may have less stuff but keep the ball on the ground better, and also look to improve that infield defense. That's sort of more of my long-term strategy. We'll talk about that more a little later. Vlad Guerrero, his 27th home run, 2 for 4 here, 3 RBIs. And Derek Fisher, another home run, playing center field for the injured Randall Grichuk. Danny Jansen, 1 for 3, creeping back to that 200 mark, that Mendoza line. Another game, former Jay Happ against Nate Pearson, the young stud versus the wily vet. What is going to happen? And we've got Hyunjin Ryu eligible to come off the injured list. We did have an injury diagnosis for Grichuk. He's got forearm stiffness. He's out for only 1 day. We did have a loss at a 10-7 loss in 10 innings. Apparently, Giancarlo Stanton said that the place was rocking in Yankee Stadium. Stanton hit 2 home runs. I can see why he'd say it's rocking. J.D. Martinez with a double. He went 3 for 5. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 2 for 6. With 2 RBI. Lourdes Gurriel hit a home run, driving in 3 runs. Danny Jansen 1 for 1 in a pinch-hitting role. Caleb Joseph was 1 for 4. Derek Fisher 1 for 1 with 3 walks. And Bo Bichette 1 for 5 with a walk. Now, Nate Pearson, again, outstanding, but it was the bullpen that just fell apart this time. And Pearson gave up 1 run in 5 1/3, 9 strikeouts with 1 walk in 5 1/3 innings. He's just a strikeout machine. But the bullpen stunk. And Baraki, he's getting demoted. So I'd like to have a lefty on the roster, but with Ryu coming off the injured list, I'm actually going to send down Baraki now, because I just can't take him giving up 2-3 runs in a start anymore, or in a relief appearance. So he's going down to Buffalo. Ryu's going to Buffalo for a rehab assignment. And, I mean, I could probably put him on the roster. He won't be any worse than anybody else. Am I going to bring Yamaguchi? I'm going to bring Yamaguchi back up. Why not? So pitching, and let's get our... Yeah, so Ryu's going to start today for those wonderful Buffalo Bisons, and I'm just going to go to my own pitching staff and put Yamaguchi in a long relief role. I'm just going to make him a emergency starter. I think some of these guys are getting tired. Like Font has 78 innings already. I'm just going to ask him to be used less often. Hopefully their starters will hold things together at least for another week or so until Ryu comes back. He's going to start today, so that we'll keep an eye on that. It's Sunday. This is the last day of the sim. We're facing the Yankees, and Chase Anderson gets another go against Jordan Montgomery. So we'll see what happens with Ryu. We could bring him up as early as next week. And the result is another loss to the Yankees, 7-1. The offense has really gone missing here. Bo Bichette with a couple hits, Derek Fisher with an RBI and a hit, doubles for Guerrero and Bichette. And that's about it for the offense. Danny Jansen with a hit, That's it. 5 hits. Good job, guys. Chase Anderson, 5 runs in 1 2/3 innings. I just want to take a look at Anderson's contract. Now, he was not signed. He was traded for. And he's got a team option for next year. So if you look at Anderson, he's also a little bit low here on the movement side. And if I think I can get some better pitching, some more sort of ground ball generating pitching, I may not bring him back. So again, these are the decisions that are going to be coming up at the end of the season. And I think the Jays are kind of settling into where they kind of are. They're 68 and 64. We are now finished our week for the sim. We're at Monday, August 24th. We're 4 games over 500, which I think is better than a lot of people would have thought. We are now quite a bit, back where, let's see. I mean, it's very deceptive. We're 4 games back of the second wildcard spot, but it's very deceptive because both Houston and Oakland are 6 games up. So I think it would almost be 10 games back because probably it's possible that both of these teams will earn that wild card spot. Houston so they're competing for the AL West. So it actually means that only one of them will earn that spot because they are currently tied for the AL West division lead. So only one of those teams, and they're 6 games up on that second spot, which is a virtual tie here between Cleveland and Minnesota. So the Blue Jays are currently one of these guys are going to be eliminated because one of them will win the division. But we're currently 6th in the wild card race. We've dropped from 2nd within a couple of weeks. All right, now we're going to take a look at the minor leagues. So we're going to start here in Buffalo. The Bisons got 3 wins, so that's actually an improvement for them. 3 wins for the Bisons. We're going to be very quick here. Teoscar Hernandez, who's down in the minors, 2 hits here. He hit a home run. Mitch Walding had a couple hits. Shun Yamaguchi, his last start in Buffalo, maybe. Not bad. Very solid. And Connor Fisk, another strong outing. Curtis Taylor, Ty Tice, really nice there. Forrest Wall was injured, and he's fractured his leg, so he's gone. He's gone for the rest of the year. So 2-0 loss here to Charlotte. They're the White Sox AAA affiliate. Just 3 hits, 1 for Alford, 1 for McGuire, and 1 for Burns. Philippe Aumont with a really strong start. So he's been very nice here in the stretch. Danny Jimenez gave up a run. Not a great outing for him. 9-6 for the Charlotte Knights in this third game. Alford 3 for 5, trying to salvage something of his season. Teoscar Hernandez a double and a home run. Alford with a home run. Kivlahan his 30th dinger of the year in a pinch hitting spot there. Jacob Wagasback 6 runs in 4 innings. Julian Merriweather back off the injured list. 3 runs, 3 1/3 innings. Taylor Saucedo 5-4 loss against the Knights, like a home and home series against the Knights. We had a couple hits here. A home run from Nash Knight, who was 1 for 4. 2 hits from Roman Fields. 2 hits from Reese McGuire. 2 hits from Mitch Walding. Shun Yamaguchi, another start, 1 strikeout. And I think this is the wrong game. Sorry, guys. It's really Gwinnett. So the Gwinnett is the Atlanta Braves AAA organization, and they lost, so we beat them 7-5. And Andy Burns 3 for 4 there with a home run, his 15th of the year. Nash Knight with 2 hits. He's pretty hot. Anthony Alford with a hit and 2 RBI. Andy Burns with a double 2. Teoscar with a double. Ruben Tejada with a double. Thomas Pannone gets the win, his 5th win. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, but he did give up 2 home runs. And Pannone has that really pathetic 25 movement rating. Hector Perez here. Ty Tice finished the game. All right. Staying in the right week, another 4-2 win against the Gwinnett Stripers. And we had home runs from Patrick Kivlahan and Mitch Walding. And Andy Burns with a couple of hits, including another double. James Dykstra, solid outing here. 8 hits, though, but 6 strikeouts in 5 innings. Zach Jackson, Curtis Taylor, Ty Tice, and nobody got hurt. And a 17-4 loss. Mitch Walding with a home run, so did Nash Knight. And a hit for Burns, hit for Tejada, hit for Adams, and Alford. On the mound, Ryu was rocked. 7 runs in 2/3 of an inning. So a good thing he's on rehab. We're going to give him another start before he comes back to the Blue Jays. Merriweather also kind of rocked here, giving up a home run without giving up an out. And Jackson McClelland also giving up 4 runs. And we go to the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. This week here saw them win 2 and lose 4. First one was a 4-1 win. Joshua Palacios, 2 hits for him. Vinny Capra, 2 hits for him. Ryan Noda with a home run, and so did Alejandro Kirk. Also hit a home run, his 15th of the year. Joey Murray, excellent start here. 1 run in 8 innings with 8 strikeouts, and Julian Fernandez with the save. 4-1 loss. They turned things around. We had a double for Vicuña, who was 3 for 4, and that was pretty much the only good game. Pitching-wise, Josh Winkowski with a solid start here. 2 earned runs in 5 innings, 6 strikeouts. I think I have Winkowski on a pitch count. I think I have to go here to the strategy page. Yeah, he's on a 100 pitch count, so I mean he could have stayed in the game, but I think some of these guys have a lot of fatigue building up. So now we go to Binghamton facing the Rumble Ponies. They are the Mets AA affiliate, and we won 3-0. So the starting performance there was Elvis Luciano with a 2-hit, 7-inning outing, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. So he's really turned things around back in AA after his sojourn in Dunedin. Julian Fernandez, another solid outing. On the offense, Brock Lundquist 2 for 2 with a double, and Demi Ormaloy with a home run, 1 for 2. Noda with a hit, Kirk with a couple strikeouts. He's sort of slumping, and Kevin Smith 1 for 4. 10-1 loss versus Altoona. They're the Pirates AA affiliate. No hits. They got no hit in this one. 1 run though, but we made an error. 17 hits given up by the pitching staff. 6 runs in 1 2/3. John Harris and Justin Dillon finished that off. That was ugly. No one got hurt. Bright side. Josh Palacios here, 2 hits. 2 hits from Matt Jones, who hit a double, drove in 3. Logan Warmoth with a couple of hits. Ryan Noda with a hit and a couple of walks. And Kevin Smith had a hit and a walk with 2 runs. Graham Spraker, solid outing. He's just been the quiet, consummate professional here. A bunch of guys gave up runs, including Julian Fernandez, and Brad Wilson finished it off. And the final game, a 12-2 loss. Again, very little offense here. Ryan Noda driving in a couple runs, hitting a double. Josh Palacios with a double. Alejandro Kirk 0 for 5. And Vinny Capra hit a double. On the mound, Joey Murray, after that really excellent start, got rocked a little bit, giving up 6 runs. Travis Bergen with 2/3 of an inning to finish it off. And now we're going to go to Dunedin. So here the Dunedin Blue Jays are 6 losses and 1 win here against St. Lucie. They're the Mets affiliate. We had Samad Taylor with a home run. He may be coming back to life. Chavez Young with a couple of hits, including a double, and Hagen Danner with a couple of hits. Juan DePaula, he's been fairly solid lately, but not in this start. 3 walks and 3 runs and 6 hits in 4 1/3 innings. And Troy Watson was injured. He's gone for the rest of the season. Only a couple weeks left in the season in the minor leagues, so Troy Watson is out. 8-1 loss against St. Lucie. Another 2 hits for Jesus Lopez, who was on fire down in Lansing and has carried a little bit of that over here. Simeon Woods Richardson with 4 innings, 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Maximo Castillo, a couple solid innings. Cree Finfrock was hit a little bit for 4 runs, 2 of them earned. And a 9-7 loss in 11 innings. Griffin Conine showing a little signs of life. He's been very quiet all year. 3 for 6. Gabriel Moreno hit a home run. He's 2 for 6 in this game. 2 for 5 for Reggie Pruitt, who hit a double. Chavez Young with his 20th stolen base, but he also was caught for the 5th time. Alek Manoah, good numbers this way. 4 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. Really nice outing. I'm a little concerned with the 4 innings, 83 pitches, and I'm just going to check on his pitch count. It's 95. So it's not the worst, but I guess manager decided to pull him out. It wasn't good for the team, though, because Braden Bushey came in and gave him 3 runs. Marcus Reyes a run, Rakowski a run. Josh Hyatt 2 runs for the loss. Player of the game, Bradley Jones. He's a former Blue Jay, coming back after a year off. He actually retired in real life, and he's had a very good season. 20 home runs for St. Lucie in the Florida State League. Bradenton, 9-2 loss. 3 hits for Jake Brote, including a couple of doubles for him. Chavez Young, Samad Taylor, Griffin Conine, and Chris Beck, all with doubles. Maverick Bufo, 6 runs in 3 2/3, 3 of them earned. Reyes, Finfrock, and Rakowski finishing it off. A 3-2 loss to Bradenton. Got a couple doubles here. A double from Taylor, double from Beck. Moreno with an RBI and a walk as well. Kyle Johnston, another good start. He's been very good since coming up from Lansing. 1 run in 5 innings, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Really nice. And the usual suspects here. Sometimes it's hit and miss. Sometimes they come in, give up a run. Sometimes they don't. They seem to be working quite a lot, though. Chavez Young here with a double and 3 hits in 5 at-bats. Samad Taylor with 2 hits, so he's heating up. Chris Beck, 2 for 4 with a double. And Juan DePaula, not great. We're just going to leave it there. Anybody hurt? Nobody hurt. And then we won 15-10, so this is going to be a big game for the offense. 18 hits, including home runs from Jake Brote, Samad Taylor, and Nick Podkul. Obeso with 3 hits, Conine with 3 hits, including a double. Moreno with 3 hits. Clemens with a hit. Samad Taylor, 2 hits, including that home run. Otto Lopez 1 for 4, and he was not hurt, thankfully. And Reggie Pruitt, 3 hits, including a double. Any stolen bases? No. And Simeon Woods Richardson gave up 7 runs, but still picked up the win. 6 innings for him, 10 hits, 3 home runs. That's pretty ugly. Simeon Woods Richardson, what are you up to? Okay, we've got some room for improvement here on the movement. So those 3 home runs just set off some alarm bells. It's like, oh no, what if he's one of those guys who has like a 35 overall for movement, 35 rating. Okay, what brings us to the Lansing Lugnuts here in the Midwest League, facing the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. Fort Wayne, beautiful ballpark there in Fort Wayne, if you ever have a chance to get to it. We won 3, lost 3, and the first one was a loss, 10-1. Just 5 hits. Singles for Steinmetz, Morris, Clark, Groshans, and Geraldo. Brandon Eisert got hit up a little bit. Luke Gillingham, Hobie Harris, Austin Havacost. And 6-4 win in the second game. Steinmetz, another hit in this one. He hit a home run, 2 for 4, 3 RBI, and a walk. Very good game there. Eric Rivera with 3 doubles. 3 for 5, 3 doubles. LJ Talley with a double, going 2 for 4. Yorman Rodriguez with a triple, going 1 for 3. Miguel Geraldo, 1 for 4. Adam Kloffenstein, 3 runs in 5 innings. That's, it's sad to say that that's among his better starts, but still not fantastic. Will McGaffer, Kobe Johnson, and Felipe Castaneda. He ties the regular season game record. Eric Rivera with doubles, and Hunter Steinmetz was injured. He's bruised elbow. Okay, and then the third game was a loss. The Tin Caps are probably one of the best teams in the Midwest League, going 82-40. So losing 2 out of 3 to them is not surprising. In this game, LJ Talley hit a home run and a double, going 2 for 4, and that was pretty much all of the offense, aside from a Tanner Morris double. Nick Fraze giving up 7 runs. Luke Gillingham, 3 runs. Again, this is not surprising for what the Lansing Lugnuts pitching staff has done this year. Now we face Dayton, Cincinnati's A-ball affiliate. Lansing Lugnuts with a run in the bottom of the ninth to walk it off. Miguel Giraldo with a walk-off solo home run to win the game for the Lugnuts. He was 1 for 4. Tanner Morris and McGregory Contreras hit doubles. There was Morris, who was 2 for 4, and Philip Clark, 2 for 4. On the mound, Brody Rodning with a solid start, 2 runs in 6 innings. Kobe Johnson, Grayson Huffman, and Felipe Castaneda finished that one off. Another win, this time not a walk-off, but they did score 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th, thanks to a run-scoring double from Tanner Kerwer and a 2-run single from Philip Clark to win that game in the bottom of the 8th. Miguel Giraldo was 1 for 3 with a walk, with a double. Philip Clark also added a double, so he had 3 hits in 5 at-bats. McGregory Contreras with his 11th home run of the season. He is the leader within that grouping that is in the lineup in today's game. On the mound, Juan Nunez got hit for 5 runs on 9 hits, no walks, no strikeouts. Hobie Harris, Parker Karachi, Felipe Castaneda finishing it off. Parker Karachi injured. He's got some day-to-day inflammation. All right, in the final game of the week, 6-3 loss to the Dayton Dragons. And we had 2 more hits from Philip Clark. And we had a double from Jordan Groshans, Miguel Giraldo here with a hit. LJ Talley is out of the game with an injury. So it's, everybody's falling. That is to be decided what it was. Brandon Eisert, another rough outing. Austin Habakost, he's a guy who, since promoted, has been really strong for the Lugnuts. And Fitz Stadler, good relief outing. Luis Quinones, also another solid outing. And we go to Vancouver. And here are the Vancouver Canadians with 5 wins and 1 loss. Rebounding here, they've got a 5-game cushion over the 500 mark in the second place in the North Division. We had Adrian Ramos with a couple of hits, including a double. We had Rafael Antigua with a double down here. He played pretty much all of last year with the Lansing Lugnuts. Nick Gonzalez, 2 hits. Hopefully that's a bit of a rebound as he was slumping quite a bit. But again, no extra base hits, and we need to see some pop from him. Sem Roberts, the Dutch pitcher, 4 runs in 4 innings, but 6 strikeouts. Winder Garcia, Blake Sanderson, Reuter Hernandez. Player of the game was Nick Gonzalez. Game number 2 against the Eugene Emeralds. We have a 4-3 loss. And Nick Gonzalez, another 3 hits, including a double. There's that extra base pop. Adrian Ramos with a double. Justin Ammons, a couple hits. Leonardo Jimenez, a couple hits. Davis Schneider with 3. Francisco Ruiz with 2. And Deferson Barreto with a single. Santos Moreno with a solid start here, going 6 innings. It's nice to see some length out of some of these starters. Leonardo Jimenez, calf strain. That is probably going to take him out for the rest of the season. So now we have the Eugene Emeralds again, and we have a 13-7 win. Nick Gonzalez, 2 for 4. Orelvis Martinez back in the lineup after his injury, 1 for 5. Scotty Bradley, 4 for 5. He just can't miss. Bradley with a home run. Gonzalez with a home run. Martinez with a double. Jimenez is actually back in the lineup. But I think he came out with that injury. But he was 3 for 3. Shane Horowitz with a home run coming in for Jimenez. Francisco Ruiz, Lantigua, Davis Schneider with a couple hits. Gabriel Ponce, 5 1/3, 7 strikeouts. Really nice work there by Ponce. Sam Ryan was hit for 4 runs. So Leonardo Jimenez was injured. He is gone for a couple weeks. If they make the playoffs, he could be back. So here we go. Everett, a win against the Everett Aqua Sox. We have Nick Gonzalez, another big game, a home run and a double, 2 for 5, 5 RBI. Ryan Sloniger, 2 for 4 with a double. Adrian Ramos, 2 for 2, 3 walks. He's hitting only 232 or 243 by the end of the week, but 333 on base percentage. So it's good to have him at the top of the lineup, although there are definitely guys with better OBPs than him. On the mound, Ethan Smith, he's a new draftee. We promoted him recently, and he did not do great. A 7-1 win against the Everett Aqua Sox. And again, lots of offense here. Orelvis Martinez went 0 for 5. He has not been great since getting called up from Bluefield. Adrian Ramos, another couple doubles. He's got 14 on the short season, 3 for 5. Justin Ammons, 2 for 3. Ammons has really come on since I said that he wasn't doing well a couple weeks ago. Nick Gonzalez, another multi-hit game, 2 for 5. And multi-hit games for Rafael Antigua and Francisco Ruiz. And Shane Horowitz as well. Antonio Saldana, another new draftee. He was a 26th round pick. Good stuff for him, but I think he's going to run into some limitations, I think, in A-ball with those control and movement stats. But for now, that was pretty good for the Vancouver Canadians. And Colton Laws, 4 innings of relief. And no one got hurt. A 12-7 win to finish off the week. And Nick Gonzalez did not have a multi-hit game, but he did drive in a couple runs. 3 hits from Horowitz, 3 hits from Ruiz, 3 hits from Lantigua, home run for Adrian Ramos, and 2 more hits for Justin Ammons, as well as 2 walks. Ammons has a 358 OBP. In some ways, he should be hitting he should be hitting leadoff. And Scotty Bradley had a rough 0-4, one of his few 0-4s. Sam Roberts giving up 5 runs. In this one, Sam Ryan and Kyle Huckabee finishing it off. Now we go down to Bluefield. The Bluefield Blue Jays are in second in their division, and they come out of it with a 4-2 record. First against Kingsport. I was thinking Kinston, which is, I think, the A-Ball Carolina League Advanced A affiliate of the Cleveland Indians, I think. So in this game, we had 3 hits, so not very good. Doubles from Nick Neal, Josiah Miller. Zachary Murray with a really strong outing. 4 hits, 4 walks in 7 innings, 5 runs with Sintala and Rajcic finishing it off. I just want to check to see if we had anybody injured. Nobody injured. All right, 8-2 win against Kingsport. DeSan Brown with a couple hits, Nick Neal a couple hits, Jose Ferrer a couple hits, Glenn Santiago a couple hits. Doubles from Ferrer and Brown. And Ian Bedell, strong outing there on the mound, bringing that ERA down. And he was our player of the game. And a 10-3 win over Kingsport, sealing the sweep. DeSan Brown with 3 hits, including a double. Glenn Santiago with a double, 1 for 4. Josiah Miller, 3 for 5 with a double. Nick Neal with a home run. That's his 5th. That's pretty good in a short season league. Angel Camacho, 2 for 4 with his 12th home run. Not a home run for Camacho, but 2 doubles. But he does lead the team with 12 home runs. And Josiah Miller was had 3 hits in that one too. Yeah, 3 for 5. All singles, I think. Here against Johnson City, the Cardinals affiliate in the Appalachian League. Nick Neal, a monster game. He's been on a roll. 2 for 5 with 8 RBI. That is 2 home runs for Neal, giving him 7 on the season. Josiah Miller with a double, driving in a couple. Bobby Seymour with a double, driving in 3. Stuart Baroa with his first home run of the year, going 3 for 5. Kendall Williams, his best outing of the year. That's what I want to see from Williams. Moving his record to 2-5 with 7 innings of shutout ball, 3 hits allowed, just 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. That's as good as it gets. Nick Neal set a regular season game record for 8 RBI, and Jose Rivas ties the regular season game record with 4 runs scored. Now, we did lose a couple games, 5-4 here. Angel Camacho with 2 hits, including 2 doubles. Nick Neal with another home run, going 2 for 4. Red hot Nick Neal. And you can see, even though his average is 242, and he's going to pop off a little bit more between now and the end of the sim, he's got a very solid on-base percentage and great slugging percentage. So not as bad as that average looks. On the mound, Trevor Koenig with a good start. He's been inconsistent. You expect that with young players, though. We had a rain delay in the 4th inning. And the final game, a 12-9 loss, but as I mentioned before, Nick Neal going off for 3 for 4 with 4 RBI. He didn't hit a home run, but he hit 2 doubles. Jose Ferrer with a triple. Bobby Seymour, 3 hits. Jose Rivas, 4 hits. 2 hits for Ferrer. And Josiah Miller, 1 for 5. Zachary Murray, I think he went in that one on short rest, but 7 runs in that one. So, yeah, come on, guys. You got to rest the pitchers. And the Gulf Coast League, they lost all 5 games. That was pretty ugly. You know what? We're not even going to look at these guys until after next week. They've got one more week left to go, and we're going to do a sum up after that. So we're not going to take much of a look at them. And we had one game in the Dominican Summer League. It was a loss to the Angels. Big deal. So let's just take a quick recap of the Dominican Summer League guys. They're calling it the Dominican Rookie League. So Juan Martinez and Roddy Sanchez finished off strong. Both of them, not great. The 60 strikeouts for Sanchez are not bad. The ERA is better for Martinez, but both of them about the same number of innings and 36 walks. That's not great. Definitely want to see fewer walks, and we want to see more strikeouts from Martinez. So who was our outstanding players here? Juanfer Castro had a solid season as a reliever. Johan Concepcion, not bad. Again, the walks are a little high. And that's Jose Garcia. I was just trying to get rid of that Christopher Castro pop-up. 8 strikeouts and 24 strikeouts and 8 walks from Frank Medina. That's actually a pretty nice line, a 2.12 ERA. So he was pretty strong here at age 19. We didn't get any innings for Christopher Rodriguez. That may mean that he may not be around that long. He's also 19, so he's got some time. The younger Nathaniel Perez, there are actually 2 in the Jays system. Not a great season for him. And Junior Lara with 16 walks and 30 strikeouts in 25 2/3 innings is not a great number either. So there's a lot of guys here. The Dominican Summer League in real life, there are a lot of players, but not all of them are going to, get to the next level. So we're going to have to make some decisions in the offseason. So our main catcher was Victor Messia and Luis Bouillon. Bouillon didn't do much offensively with a 68 OPS plus, and neither did Messia. Both of these guys sort of had the bulk of the time, with Oscar Gutierrez getting some time as well. Junior Ramos only played 2 games. Pedro Hurtado was our regular first baseman, and he did not do very much at age 20. He seems to have some potential, but at age 20 in the Dominican Rookie League, didn't do much. Wilder Perez also didn't do very much offensively as the second baseman, and you can see the guys in the green are the starters, so they're going to get much more time. Also getting some time was Angel Del Rosario, and again, he did not do very much offensively, although the 8 doubles in 79 plate appearances is actually pretty good. So here are sort of the core of this team, the 2 guys who are really the ones with the most promise. Both are 2.5 star potential. And Ric Kelvin De Castro got about $1 million signing bonus, I think, or $850,000, something like that, in 2019. And he posted a 111 OPS plus, 731 OPS, 265, 361, 370 with 14 doubles, 3 triples, and 1 home run. So a solid season there as a rookie. He's really known for his defense. As you can see, 60, 55, 65, strong arm here, and 50 for turning double plays, 40 for shortstop. That's pretty normal when they're this young. He's 17. When they're this young, usually having that position rating is very, very low. Meaning, if you brought him up to the major leagues, they would probably boot a lot of balls. But he's got that potential. He's got those great ratings for defense. Now, Estevan Machado had a slightly better offensive season, not in terms of batting average, but he did have a good on-base percentage. 38 walks, 50 strikeouts is a really nice ratio. The 50 is a little high. It's a little less than a quarter of the time or 1/5 of the time, out of 271 plate appearances. So it's actually pretty good. But we're going to see that go up usually as players increase in level. Now, he does have more power than De Castro, and he hit 14 doubles, 3 triples. They both had the exact same number of doubles and triples, but Machado hit 4 home runs where De Castro hit just 1. And interesting to note that while De Castro has a stronger arm, Machado's got some really good defensive ratings, good range, decent arm, better than decent, better double play rating, and strong infield error ratio. So it's looking like if he stays with these ratings, it's looking like Machado could remain a shortstop and with more offensive potential than De Castro. Machado could be the guy that sort of sticks a little better. Now, he's a little less potential here. He has a better eye, although De Castro's eye potential is still pretty good. But it's this rating, the hit rating is 60, and that may be better enough to make the difference between who plays every day at the major league level and who doesn't. But the fact that Machado is a much more well-rounded hitter with much better power potential, gap power that matches this, and a 50 contact rating, that's probably going to be at least a second division everyday player. So the way things are looking now in the major leagues with the type of contact that some of the guys have on our major league team and how well they're doing and what their batting averages are at that level, 50 is probably enough to be a regular player every day. So both of these guys are very young. Both of these guys have a lot of potential. We're going to see how they develop over the course of this sim. And of course, the last guy that we're really looking at here, Starlin Beltre, was very good. 6 home runs. I think that led the team. And that is true. That did lead the team. And Alfredo Chacon, he was our big money guy. He's still at a 3 rating, but the scouting accuracy is very low. 300 average. So he did fall off towards the end of the season. 387 OBP, which I like to see. And 5 doubles. No home runs. But again, he is still 16. And we'll see what we do with him next year. We may move him up to the Gulf Coast League, but we may leave him here for another year. Although I am kind of partial to bringing him up to the GCL. All right, so that's going to do it for today. I'm just going to try to find my cursor. There it is. And I think my mouse battery died. So we're going to go back up to the Blue Jays. And you can see here, we've got some decisions to make. Tanner Roark has not been good in the starting rotation. Trent Thornton has, he got just hammered in his last outing. We sent down Ryan Baraki. So, really our pitching staff it was supposed to be pretty good, but the injuries, especially to Hyun-Jin Ryu, really took things out of it. And our minor league guys that we've had that depth where, coming into the season, we're like, yeah, we've got tons of depth. You look at guys like Baraki and Pannone and Wagaspak and, Thomas Hatch got injured and, just all these guys that were supposed to add depth to our rotation. Philippe Aumont, none of these guys were particularly great. And you can see Thomas Hatch has disappeared. Where is Thomas Hatch? He might be in the AA roster. He is not. Buffalo Bisons. Thomas Pannone. Hyun-Jin Ryu is on rehab. Where is Thomas Hatch? He's on the Blue Jays. How is he on the Blue Jays? I didn't promote him. He is out. Torn flexor tendon. Oh, okay. So he's probably on the Blue Jays injured list. Probably because he's on the 40-man roster and injured list. Shoemaker, yeah. So he's on the Blue Jays, on the Blue Jays 40-man. So that's why he's on the injured list there. Taking a look at the injured list overall, it's a who's who. Forrest Wall, Gabriel Guerrero, Justin Maesi, but going down, Alex Nolan, Cameron Eden broke his thumb, Eric Pardinho still there, Edison Gonzalez, Grant Townsend, PK Morris, Will Robertson, especially down here in sort of the Lansing area, Joel Concepcion, Leonardo Jimenez, Soeni Martinez, Giorgenis Casemiri. So lots and lots and lots and lots of guys have gotten injured as we, go towards the end of the season. So the Blue Jays are a mess pitching-wise. Randall Grichuk is... Let's see if we have that info on Grichuk. So Grichuk's back to health. So that's nice. His injury was not serious. We'll put Derek Fisher back in as a backup for Billy McKinney. We're going to try to ride Billy McKinney while he's hitting well. He is producing at about the same rate, a little bit better than Derek Fisher. Fisher sort of fallen down to a 106 OPS plus. Grichuk has also fallen back. You can see he's a little cold. Travis Shaw's a little cold. And, Danny Jansen has really disappointed. So this season, again, this was a developmental year. Kevin Biggio is the other guy who's really disappointed. But thankfully, Joe Panik has really picked up the slack and has been able to step in. And Santiago Espinal has, held his own in his major league debut with 14 games under his belt. So I think it's going to be the type of thing where we're just managing things as we go towards the end of the season. I think we can only bring up 2 guys in September, and we're going to be getting right up to that in our next sim. So those decisions will come. Thanks for joining us. I'm JayBlue at Jays From Away on Twitter and www.bluejaysfromaway.com. And I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks to GM Games for hosting us on their site.